This is Petrukas Arbūzas Širniukas speaking to you live from the Žvaigždės Padangės Stovykla.
Well, this is the ropes course at Gilwell Park, which is a whole series of structures where people are hoisted up into the air and then they walk across tight wires which are difficult to traverse because you don't have anything to hang on to really, but they are supported down below by their fellow scouts, so that if they plummet unexpectedly they will be held up. Well, hopefully they'll be held up. Are you going to do the ropes course?
No.
Why not?
Scary.
Too scary?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you sum up your experience on the high rope?
I mean, it's fun, but then when you go down, it's painful.
Where's it painful? Well, here we are at the Bush Hut building, an activity from a bygone era. An era where you carried a tomahawk when you went hiking, which was actually commonplace in Victorian bushwalking clubs in the 70s, 60s and before, where basically the bush was thought of as something you could chop down and do what you want with. But these days you can't do that. So we're just trying to build a hut very quickly in half an hour by stacking up branches against trees. Okay, now we're going to do a test to see how waterproof the shelter is with 4 people inside. Out you come. Let's see. Let's see if you got wet.
Who's wet?
Who's wet in there?
That's done.
Oh yeah. Get out. Get out.
Are you wet?
I'm dry.
Next person, are you wet?
Yeah, we're all wet.
You're all wet. True water test. Whoa. Whoa.
Watch out! It's coming!
How much more?
Well, looks like it's not completely waterproof again. What are your comments on your shelter?
It was terrible.
No good?
Well, it was good, but it was bad.
Well, it's 35 degrees today, and what do you do when it's 35 degrees at Gilwell Park? You go for a swim in the Brudas. A Brudas that has been here forever and a day, and it's fed by a spring which is extremely cold. So even though it's hot and it's been hot, the water is still freezing and no one really wants to go in very deep. So if you're looking for a place to cool down in Melbourne, come to the Gilwell Park Brudas.
Well, here we are on the wonderful Warburton Rail Trail. I said here we are on the wonderful Warburton Rail Trail. A delightful hike amongst mountain ash and grey gums and ferns on the southern side of Mount Donabuang. And we're hiking here on the traditional Scout day hike.
There's also grass.
Is everyone having a good time?
Yeah. No, not really.
Aren't we on the Aqueduct Trail?
Yeah.
Don't contradict the leader. Do you feel that this is a good or bad decision to go down there?
Positive all the way.
But why does it say no entry?
Just a red herring to put us off our path, to test us. It's a test to see if we can navigate our way back with certain obstacles in the pathway.
Maybe this is why it said no entry. Because we've gotten stuck on this incredibly steep, dangerous dirt mound. Well, it's not a dirt mound. It's just a very, very steep, slippery descent.
We're talking to Chief Chef here at the Skautų Stovykla, Rimas Keivys. Rima, what's the difference cooking for a scout camp versus cooking for a family?
Okay, well what you normally have is you're cooking for a family, you've got using pots about this size, okay? And it takes you a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes to cook. In a scout camp, we use pots this size. Now that's a 50-litre pot. 2 people are needed to lift it when it's full of food. And it takes a long time to cook. So things that cook at home in 5 or 10 minutes, at scout camp, it's taken us about 2 hours to boil some potatoes.
Because the stove's not very good?
Well, again, you can't get enough heat into the pot, so you just have to take a long time to do it. So you have to be patient, but things cook differently in large quantities. For example, if you cook eggs at home, you'll find that the white cooks first and the yellow is soft. But at camp, in large quantities, the yolk goes hard, but the white stays soft. So it's quite different. Yeah, it's different techniques. But I think people are very appreciative at scout camps of the food that they get, and we try to do our best to make sure they're fed and happy.
Ačiū, broli, budek!
This Buju.
Saulis Palnonis is carving up the kumpis. How's it going there? What's the key thing you should look out for?
Microphones.
And tonight with kumpis, you get the kopuste. You also get the baked potatoes, followed by, what's that? Looks like glue. It's mashed potatoes, not to be confused with glue. Then you get, what's this? Chickpeas, but it's not just any chickpeas. It's vegetarian chickpeas with an Indian korma curry mix, followed by the coleslaw salad. That's a pretty good meal. I wouldn't get that at home.
That's a good meal.
That's a good meal. You could get into that. Also, not just one, but multiple sauces. Tomato sauce, barbecue sauce, mild American, and most importantly of all, my favourite, the hot chili mustard. And here is what it looks like on the plate. Oh, tikri patriota, knjignešaj.
We are making tin can lanterns using Milo tins, and the idea is that the kids are drawing a picture that's done in dots to look like constellations.
And what is the purpose of this?
Well, because the theme of the Stovykla was under the night sky, and it's learning how to use the materials around you to create something else, and the kids are able to design their own constellations.
Because the scout is thrifty, correct?
Correct. Yes, they are.
No, I'm playing strong as well. Should one of us go up there? Not me. Nice to meet you.
Let's just see what people are rating this camp, the Žvaigždžių Padangės Stovykla, out of 10.
It's a 9, 10.
12.
3.
Like a 5, 10 out of 10.
Dasham Žvaigždžių.
A solid 8, 8.5.
9.
2.
I gave it an 8.
9.
Dishwasher was 11 out of 10, the kitchen was 10 out of 10, and the rest was 9 out of 10.